Nigel, you wanted to look at this position with Garry.
Well, that's right. So, I mean, Garry was.
Oh, when we coming back to CD7, yes, the line.
Yes, that's right. So
yes.
I'll just
CD7, bishop before bishop e2, and I'm curious to see how black can actually, take this pawn on d7 without any harm for the position.
So
but we should see the analysis board on this.
We need to see the analysis board
on the screen.
Yeah.
Can we get the analysis board?
Actually, while you look at the analysis board, I can say that maybe Andreikin in his dreams thought about pawn on c6 being as deadly as yesterday in Kramnik game. But it's going to disappear soon.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, Garry, are you surprised by Dmitry Andreikin's performance so far?
Yes and no. Yeah, of course, Andreikin being in the final, it's a surprise, and some say shocking surprise. But if you consider that, he won only one classical game, I think just against a Vietnamese player, and he qualified only by winning Rapid and Blitz, and he's very good at that. I mean, it's just probably very much sort of in line with the spirit of the tournament. I would say it's where nerves beat quality.
You mean that nerves played a bigger role in this tournament?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the players, all the players. I mean, look at it, for instance, Andreikin game. Yeah. When Dmitry beat him handily with black in Rapid and then lost with white. I mean, probably nearly winning position. I think Swidler eventually collapsed against Andreikin. So we could see a few collapses. So, I mean, Aronian is a much better player than Tomaszewski, but, I think it's just that's what we know about Aronian. And he is not doing well at being under pressure, and obviously thought of him being a favorite. It just doesn't help. So considering this very tensed atmosphere, because each tournament has its own trademark, and this one I think is dominated by the huge pressure on all the players and a lot of mistakes, which in my view might be a result of leading players being in action too often.
They have been playing too many tournaments recently.
I think too many tournaments. For instance, the Gelfand lost to Vashela Graf, this in Rapid, and the first game which he lost, I think he was much better. But when you play so many tournaments, there's so much pressure on the players, almost on a monthly basis. Then the age plays a factor, and that's why Andreikin. Actually the two opposite sides. So Kramnik is there because of the immense quality and strengths, and he's very solid. I don't think he was in any moment in any danger of losing a match. And Andreikin is just because he is a good Rapid and Blitz player. So, but eventually Kramnik will win. So it's still, chess game is chess.
Is Kramnik, is he the big exception then?
Look, Kramnik played well. I said Kramnik played extremely well in London.
Yeah.
I mean, he was well prepared. So, and again, I don't know about justice or not. So, but he was very, very close of qualifying again. And maybe now it's a compensation for his failure in London in the last round, because he plays, this tournament extremely well.
Yeah.
Again, I wouldn't say that he has some great ideas, and the quality is exceptional, because I remember in knockouts, when we go back to knockouts, very often the winners not just won the tournament because they were stubborn, solid, and persistent, but also showing a lot of ideas. I remember Anand in '97, Kalavman in '99, Anand in 2000. So Ponomarev in 2002, there were really moments where the players who won the event, they were very good in just very creative in coming up with new ideas. I mean, in this tournament, Kramnik didn't show much, but he did need it, so it was very, very solid performance.
Yeah.
And I think unless something terrible happens in last two games, I mean he'll finish this tournament on the high note.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned a couple of strong players who disappointed. Who were the players who pleasantly surprised you, who did better than you had expected?
Ooh. Okay, naturally Tomaszewski. Actually, I think Tomaszewski's failure in the semi-final was due to the fact that the first time in the tournament he thought he was a favorite. He kept playing it, and this is important because he played with Aronian, he played with Morozevich, Kamsky, and no doubt he thought of him being underdog, which is, by rating, by sort of the status of the chess of their ranking, it was natural, and he played well. And with Andreikin, he thought, he was obliged to win, and he failed. Actually, I think he's a better player, but again, who cares when it goes to rapid? Yeah. So Tomaszewski was a pleasant surprise. Vashelegraf did well.
Yep.
Yep.
Again, again, he was a bit lucky. So with Ortiz in the second round, but again, solid performance, and his stubbornness against Kramnik in the game too was quite impressive.
Yeah. Well, we had a couple of new names. There was this young Chinese kid.
Who lost, who actually did well, and he played well against Mamedyarov. So okay, he lost, but naturally, it's he has a lot of potential.
Yeah, he has true potential. You mean to say?
Yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely, true potential. Yes, agreed.
Because he's amazingly young and already knocked out.
But he's amazingly young, but he played quite mature chess.
Yeah. And what message should Jan Nepomniachtchi get from being eliminated by him?
Message?
Yeah. I mean, this must have been very disappointing for many Russian fans.
No, I think the problem with Nepomniachtchi was Karyakin and also somehow with Caruana. I think they are entering the tournament assuming that they are favorites. Mm-hmm. They are very good players. There's all three, but they're yet to be at the same league with Kramnik. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's they're hugely overestimating their strengths and quality of play.
So you're saying that ELO rating doesn't quite give the whole story there, because there is not such a difference at all in rating between, say...
I wouldn't... Yeah, naturally, I think rating is important, yes. But, especially when you enter the tournament like knockout, this type of tournament, or any tournament, like a candidate tournament where, there's too much at stake, then there are many other factors. Yeah. And, when we go to Magnus categories, so yes, definitely, being 50 or 60 points ahead of everybody else, that speaks for itself. But when you look at this, at the category of the players, top 10 or top 20, I wouldn't say that, just if you have Karyakin, who is number 4 or 5, or Grishuk, playing somebody who's number 15 or 20, you can easily pick, you pick up the ELO favorite as a potential winner. There are too many other factors. Mm-hmm. And, I think we saw the match Caruana-Vashelegraf. Caruana is 70 points ahead in rate? 6. It's way ahead of Vashelegraf. But did you see it? Did you have any sense of 70 points difference in the game?
Well, you could say that Maxim is underrated at the moment.
Yeah, but that's the same story. Somebody underrated, somebody overrated. Yeah. But when you look at the Nepomniachtchi, Karyakin, and Caruana, I would put them in the same group. They think that they are here just to win the tournament. It's just anything but winning. It's a disaster. Yeah. Look, it's nice to be so ambitious, but you have to back up your ambitions by quality play. Karyakin played very poorly, and Caruana did better than Karyakin, but still, I saw his reaction after the game with Malakhov. Mm-hmm. I would be not ashamed, but I would not be bragging about my victory.
Yeah.
Not being. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a huge accomplishment not to be made it in 5. He actually, I made a comment on my Facebook about quarterfinal, saying that you never know when you have to pay back your debt.
Garry, so do you do your own Facebook accounts? I mean, some people they tweet and it's their their husband or whatever doing the tweets, or maybe your wife does your
everything you read there, it comes from my mouth.
Good,
yes.
Good.
That's good. That's good to hear, and it's good to have that confirmed.
Yeah, it's every note. I mean, it's somebody else can just actually type physically, but it's every word. Actually, I can assure you, every word I ever wrote, or typed, appeared on the internet. It's my original.
Okay, good. I think we've got plenty of questions.
Yes, well, let's say that there's many questions.
It's quite amazing that we have plenty of questions about anything but the game.
Any thoughts on this?
You'd be surprised, but many of the spectators, they are interested in you, and they are happy to ask you questions.
No, but the game, the only if they played Blitz or Rapid, I thought that Andreikin had a chance.
Yeah.
But not in classical.
Yeah. It's not that we encourage this, Garry, but many questions appeared, and people just wondering, and maybe you should say it again. When are you going to play chess again? Many people are hoping that you are not going to do that.
I mean, if you mean professional chess, no. I play exhibitions. I'm probably highest rated ever kibitzer. That's all I can say about my chess engagements now.
Well, it was a decision that you thought about a lot. Did you ever? Are there moments that you regret it? That you see people playing and think, I would like to be there and.
No. I made this conscious decision. I'm quite happy where I am now. Do a lot of things that I believe very important. But there's one more reason that I don't feel uncomfortable about being a kibitzer. Because when I followed the games and I could see now everybody, having access, every passer having access to a computer and making comments about Kramnik blundering. So I'm very happy that I'm not in Kramnik's shoes now. We used to play with Karpov in those good old days, sitting at the stage, and even if we made a terrible mistake, every grandmaster was wondering whether it was an ingenious plan. And now. You can have thousands and thousands of people online shouting loud.
Yeah, but do you take offense at that? I mean, when they call this missed opportunity.
No, but sometimes I feel offended for my former colleagues. Because look, it's easy to say, oh, this is terrible, but okay, I understand the pressure for all the players, for Kramnik, Aronia, and Magnus, Vichy, and just shouting, and very often, by the way, these shouts, unless it's a terrible blunder, often you could see that people are following the computer line, and computer could have evaluation, fun evaluation, and then it makes me feel a bit angry.
Yeah.
And that somebody feels that he or she could be in the position to criticize immortals.
Well, there are many young talents, and one of the questions is, Garry, who do you suggest people should follow from the new talents? Who are the interesting players that deserve the attention of the broad audience?
As much as I can judge, and I'm not, following everybody, but in the teenage category, I don't see anybody equal to Magnus.
Yeah.
By talent. So as there's no one yet, that I can evaluate as a world championship caliber.
Yeah.
There are a lot, as you mentioned, the Chinese guys. So there's a lot of, there's many players that could do well. I mean, by the way, I was surprised by the total collapse of Anish.
Yeah.
Anish, I mean, it's just. I think also was psychological because he did so well in the first two rounds. Yeah. And then, I think he could do well against Leko, but seeing Granda instead of Leko.
Yeah, so Anish Giri, who was eliminated by Julio Granda.
Yeah, and it's just, it's amazing that, winning, he was totally outplayed in game one, And by the way, Granda did well, you know. He's 45, 46, and he did very, very well in the tournament. Played some very, very solid, nice positional chess. Yeah, and it probably shows some sort of psychological instability, which is typical for young players. So then some of them are not yet tempered for such firing experience. Yeah, and other young players, again, there are many talented players, but if we're talking about a future world champion, or at least the contender for the title, I don't think that anybody age 15 to 20 now comes close.
Yeah. Well, of course, many people, they ask for a prediction for the match in Chennai. We agreed not to talk about that, but between but what you said, I mean, it's clear what you.
I stick with my prediction. I think it's for Magnus to lose, but we saw in London, you know, he may collapse under pressure, and he never played a match of that importance.
Yeah, well,
he is clearly a better player now. And naturally he has a titan history on his side. So he's half of Anand's age. Yeah. But it's a world championship match, and it's the same opponent for 2 weeks, or more than 2 weeks, almost 20 days. And Vishy has phenomenal experience, and I think Vishy's main advantage in the match that probably he's not afraid to lose.
Yeah.
Which is very important, because Vishy always gets very nervous, you know. And I don't know how much, home factor will play against Vishy's psychology. But in general, you know, no one will be surprised if Vishy loses. So that's why he could feel relieved, and that will make him very dangerous.
Yeah. A more light-hearted question, Garry. One of the viewers wants to know, suppose a movie is made about you, about your career, who would you prefer to play your part? Or maybe your daughters have any suggestions about that. They said, Daddy, we would like to see, I don't know.
Hulk and Phoenix?
Yeah? Sorry, I didn't...
Who is that?
Who is that?
Yes, wait a second. Just losing. Yeah.
It is apparently a matter that has been given some thought already. Do you?
No, I said Hulk and Phoenix. Hulk and Phoenix. I don't know how. I'm not sure how to whether I pronounce correctly.
Joaquin Phoenix. Right.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to find out. Okay. It's. Yeah.
So and another spectator wanted.
It's walk the line.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Great. Well, let's hope that takes place. And someone else wanted to know, Garry, what are your hobbies? I mean, you're a very, very busy man. Do you have time for hobbies?
No, my hobby is consuming information.
Yeah.
that's I don't have. I mean, hobbies. It's. I wouldn't call it. I don't want to upset anyone calling it waste of time, but it's just it's from.
You're way too serious for hobbies.
No, it's not way too serious. I'm just different.
Yeah.
No, just some people take them very seriously.
Yeah.
And it's how people are made.
And you mean your dedication to other things is such that it's. I mean, then hobbies.
Look, I want to make the difference. That was the motto of my life, and I'm still sticking to it.
Yeah. So. Vladimir Kramnik, he's been very impressive here, and he looks eager as in his youngest years. What are his expectations for the near future? Can he still play for the title, Garry?
I doubt, but he has all the qualities, more than enough actually to play for the title, but age is a factor. So he will be 40 in 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's okay. We saw a match Anand Gelfand, just one of the oldest match in the history of chess. combined. So I think it was the oldest match since Andreikin Bogolubov or last year. But just it's amazingly old by any standards. The combined age of two players. But I think chess has been changing rapidly in the last couple of years, and it will be very hard for Kramnik to win the candidates. I don't know if he changes systems now. Next time will be matches again.
I think it's the same.
It's going to be
the same
candidates.
format.
Yeah,
same format as
if the tournament will be very difficult for Kramnik to win. I think it's I can hardly imagine. But in the match, if he goes to the match, I mean, he's extremely solid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an exceptional match player, and if he could have played the match, it would be a huge challenge for anybody, including Magnus.
So, well, you mentioned some younger talents. Someone wants to know specifically what you think about Daniil Dubov, the young Russian player.
Okay, he's young. See, again, I look at the games of the players and I wonder, one of the criteria for me, I mean, for young or for all the players, is what can I learn?
Yeah.
I mean, Nigel, can you just remember one Dubov's game that impressed you?
Oh, you've put me on the spot there.
No, but it's just there. But it's just, it's. I mean, we remember when we talk about the Chinese boy, we just saw, some of. I mean, I off the top of my head, I remember the Chinese boy beating Nepomniachtchi Dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, I was not preparing for that.
Yeah.
I don't even remember a single game Dubov played in this tournament. No, it's just it's the way he plays, Okay, maybe people said the same about Petrosian, 60 years ago. Yeah. But still, I have much bigger respect for my great predecessors than for young players who are now just trying to avoid theory and just to play, just solid and it's I want to be impressed. When I looked at Magnus games, I was impressed. So sometimes I look at Vasily Graf's games, I'm impressed. Even Caruana, some of the games, that are quite impressive.
Garry, do you have the screen in front of you? Do you have the game in front of you?
Yes.
Before we come back to the questions from the viewers, does White have a nibble here? Is White on top? Is it so easy for Kramnik?
The very fact that Kramnik is thinking, tells you that there's no immediate draw that can satisfy him. But I mean, look, without pawns on the queen side, it's still a dead draw. I guess you mean, Nigel, that it's not easy for black to
liquidate the queen.
To liquidate his pawns. So, the natural move is rook e8, and then he plays g4.
Yeah, he's played g4.
Yes? Already?
Yeah.
I just have to reload.
Yeah, he's gone rook e8 and g4. I don't have it on my screen yet, but we can see it from the hall, actually.
You can see it from the hall. I don't see it. I'm on the play chess, so that's
so it's rook e8 and g4 has been played. And it looks.
I'm reloading now.
Looks a bit better.
Sometimes Kramnik has a problem because his problem is that he sees problems way before anybody else recognizes them, and it makes him feel a bit panicked. So I still think it should be a draw, but now g4, g5.
That was actually my strategy when I played against you, Garry. My idea was to attack you because at least you would see what my threats were, even if I couldn't.
Yes. Yeah, it's pure psychology. Actually, now I think it's a slight discomfort because g5. Sometimes it's interesting that the double pawn could create some more pressure. By the way, that was the case yesterday. This is something that I pointed out, that Kramnik had, double pawns on the king side,
Yeah.
g2, g3, and it was very lucky because if he had normal pawn structure, f2, g3, h2, it could be a draw because the king would be under perpetual threats.
Right.
So it's interesting that sometimes the pawn structure, disturbed pawn structure, is more useful.
Yeah.
We are maybe now facing the same, okay, not the same case, but pawn on f4 supports g5, which creates problems for the knight.
I mean, there's an immediate possibility of g5. He's played king f8.
King f8, g5, knight
g5. Then if the knight comes, if it comes to d7 or to e4, white plays rook c7 anyway. Maybe I can get that up on the mice.
Maybe he wants to go on g8.
Yeah, but that looks like serious suffering. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay.
Yeah, but okay. I go on g5. I go knight g8.
Okay.
So how are you going to benefit?
I don't know. I don't. I just improve my position somehow. I don't know. King g2.
h4.
h4. Right. Let me get it. I'll get it up so that the people at home can see what we're talking about. Right. So we're looking at this position, and after king f8, and we're saying that sometimes the doubled pawns. In this case, the doubled f pawns, they can be useful. And here there is the possibility to play g5, and Garry is suggesting that black can try the passive knight g8. And the point of that is rook c7 will be met by rook e7, rook c8 check by rook e8, with very much a draw. But he shouldn't hurry. He's played g5 actually, and we'll see where Kramnik intends to go. I suspect he does want to go back to
on g8. Kramnik goes on g8. There are no immediate threats, and then potentially black knight can start traveling.
f5 or something like that.
No, e7 actually g6.
Yeah.
e7 g6 attacking pawn on f4.
Okay.
Yeah, so still compromised pawn structure still may cause some problems. No, Kramnik will go on g8.
He's going home. Right. Okay. So back to some questions. So maybe some slight problems for Kramnik. We shouldn't forget about this game and write it off completely just yet. And we're keeping an eye on it, but we'll continue with the questions for Garry now.
Yes. Garry, I don't know to what extent you follow female chess, but who do you think are the more interesting female chess players to follow? That's one of the questions we got.
I mean, you're torturing a retired chess player. I'm trying to catch up with men's chess.
It's funny that you say this, because when Nigel was talking about the position and the possible problems there were, then I was going to say I'm going to cause you some problems.
I was quite. While I was following the games, I thought Hu Yufan was very impressive, but it seems that she just lost her momentum. Yeah. So there was, for a glimpse, I think there were expectations she could be another Judith Polgar. But
yeah, I mean at Gibraltar when she played a
absolutely, yeah. There was it was a very, very, very short moment, sort of where there were huge expectations for her just to actually move to the high league.